and welcome to the Houston Texan SBA review for the 24th season. I am Quarter Mob. We started this game and just couldn't get things going, man. I mean, we had to redo the game. Game shut off on us at 30-30, so we had to pretty much replay it. So just figured I'd just go through the stats today and show y'all what happened during week one. Had some ups, had some downs, but all in all, I didn't get none of my scenarios done that I wanted to because I really wanted to get Anderson boosted up, but that just didn't come through for us. The second game was just a totally different story. Like, I don't know how to say it. It was just like we was pretty much doing a whole bunch of overthrowing and throwing INTs. Maybe that'll clean up for us next week against the Indianapolis Colts. But I can sit there and complain about the stuff, but the game of football is the game of football. Got to be a winner, got to be a loser. But I think that the stats looked a lot better for our team that first game than it did this game, but at least we're slowly growing. We got a lot of young players, a lot of old players that need to be gone that's been in the league 8-9 years, if not more. So we're just going to try to rebuild this team. We got plenty of cap room going into next year. A lot of good young faces, that I think that'll help us out in the long run, that we can keep under contract for quite a while. As we go through the season, I don't know how long we're going to play. Normally we try to get 5 in, but who knows? I've been getting kind of burnt out at the end, so we might go ahead and just run the minimum of 4, or pretty much it all depends on how it all rotates. We have gotten in 6 before, I believe, but it all depends. But we're gonna try not to get burnt out and maybe do a little game planning for the following season with that little time off. But like I said, just getting off into the week one stats, man. I mean, so far in my division, the Colts have only won their game. The Titans haven't played yet. Jags lost, and of course we lost. So let's go ahead and check out the stats and see what we can get into, man. Like I said, that first game was totally different from this game. I think we might have, I ain't gonna say we would have lost, but it would have been a hell of a lot closer than what we, had happened to this one, because it was 38-17. And pretty much in the first game going into the fourth quarter, it was 30-30. So, just my luck, Madden got me. So let's go ahead and look at the stats and let's see if we can make some stuff happen next week and correct our errors. Because, I mean, we was putting up points, but our defense couldn't stop. I think what got me the most was the outside, the running back. I'm tossing it out to the running back because we was trying to keep our eyes on Lamar. But as you can see, yards gained 220, 306. Rushing, we actually got out the gate pretty good. Rushing 95 to his 144. Like I said, I don't know why that second time we could not stuff the run. I don't know what was going on with that. But he pretty much ate us up with that running back. Dobbins was a beast. Like I said, it was one play where he caught the ball and pretty much just turned up the field in between 2 defenders. Like, literally just perfect. So, he had a pretty much good day. It was hard holding him, and that pretty much was the factor there. I mean, he threw it to OBJ a couple times, but we was able to keep him, pretty much grounded a little bit. So passing yards 125 to 162. The first downs were 18 to 14. Punt yards, no factor really. Kick return 118 to 49 because there at the end we wind up getting a return from Dale, which boosted it up to 7 because as you can see it stayed 10 for quite a while. So like I said, that fourth quarter, man, he came through. Couldn't do anything in that third quarter. The second half pretty much his. Didn't switch our game plan up. Couldn't key in on that running back. So that's gonna be what we're going to have to pretty much concentrate on next week, because I know we got running back coming into town that we're gonna have a hard time with. So we'll just have to see how it all plays out. Total yards gained 363, 344. Turnovers, that was a big deal. 3 and 1. Like I believe the first game, I mean, we only had like 2 turnovers. We couldn't get the fumbles that we needed, nothing. I mean, and like that was the big difference right there. We could not do anything on third down, man. He was just stopping it. It didn't matter if it was play action, run, a little drop off over the middle. We tried to play the close game because we still got a rookie quarterback that got to develop that long ball. So, we'll just have to see how it all plays out, man. But I mean, it was fairly good showing by our quarterback. But those INTs, man, that's what killed us. And I believe there was INTs on third down. So we had to convert 1 4th down. I believe we only went for 1. He didn't have no need. I mean, he just stayed on it from the jump streak. I mean, but no 2-point conversions tried. Red zone 66 to 50. We had 1 red zone. He had 4 TDs, no field goals. Penalty yards was even with 5. Time possession, he kept the ball longer. So, that's the tail of the tape right there. Like I said, we're just going to have to figure out something else to do, man. We're going to figure out a game plan to... Mainly, it was that running game. We could have kind of forced him to pass more. He was in a good passing mood, but I think that was the key, man. That doggone running game and him tossing it out to the outside. So, let's check out the player stats. We'll start out with our Texans since this is our first game. Terrible quarterback rating, 38.8, man. I mean, just terrible. We're about to clean that up next week. Like I said, we had to play 2. So, that first game, of course, stats was a lot better. Second game, we tried changing it up, but he had already figured out the game plan, so it was a bust. But, like I said, we just had to clean things up next week. Those 3 INTs shouldn't have happened. 2 of them I know was my fault. One that was just lofted out of the way after he got sacked. So, we'll just have to see what happens. Long 30, 2 sacks. Completions 12, 25 attempts, 48%. He's getting 5.5. So, like I said, we just got to clean some stuff up. First game of the year. Let's go into our rushing. We had 71 yards. Gained 5.1 for Pierce. 4 broken tackles. The longest was 14 yards. No TDs. And I believe that first game he had like 1 or 2 TDs. So, like I said, just have the game plan for next week, and hopefully that same thing won't happen to us. Singletary, 4 attempts, 17 yards, 4.3. I didn't get to really get him in the game that much the second game as I did the first. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff we just got to clean up, man. We're going to start figuring out how to just switch everything over and get out our norm play calling, and that second half, try to experiment a little bit more and control the clock. That was the main thing. I did not control the clock the second game. Stroud, he had to bust out of the sides there. 2 attempts, 7 yards. Longest was 11. I mean, he got hit, so some of that yardage got taken away, but I think we can figure that Sprout out, man. We might have a chance. And that clears it up for the rushing yards, and we have the receiving. Our top receiver, believe it or not, was Schultz, man. Like I said, that second game, he was just locking us down. Woods tried to get off in there for 30 yards. Collins 23 yards, and he was the big factor of the first game. I mean, that's why I hated it. Even if I would have lost, I still would have loved to have those stats that we had going in that game, man, because my team was actually finally playing good. But, you know, he got in 2 receptions. He got his touchdown back, but he did not get nowhere near as many receiving yards. Pierce, he had 2 for 13. Beck had 1 for 8. Dale had 1 for 6. Singletary had 1 for 4. So yeah, he just shut that wide receivers down, man. We started trying to do too much, fading back too far, taking too much time with the ball instead of just snapping and going like we was doing at first, kept it short. So like I said, you know, we just got to get these guys in some good spots, and they'll grow. Like I said, we got a good, fairly young team going for us, so we'll just see how it all plays out. All right, let's go to the defense. I was kind of disappointed in Petrie this game, man. He missed an important INT. Kept him busy. He was hitting the middle of the field, you know, but it was one that he should have had, and he whiffed it. He was getting ran over on some of the tackles, so hopefully we can get his XP up and get him some arm tackling out there. I mean, his zone is fairly decent, but he needs to tackle, man. He got to get those tackles down. There was a few that he actually had wrapped up and he let go, and they was able to break out with that running back. So you have to clean some of that up, Mr. Petrie. White, he had a good day, man. He was everywhere on the field. That's a guy, young guy we picked up by the free agency. Hopefully we can build him up there and get him going, man. He was playing the pass pretty good. He had 8 tackles, as you can see, 1 tackle for loss. Harris, he was kind of blowing it a little bit on the outside there when it came out to the outside run. So, you know, we're going to clean that up on his. I mean, as far as blitzing, he was getting in where he needed to fill the gap on the inside, but he couldn't get out there to that outside for us. Hill, he was busy. 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. None of my team got any INTs. Well, we got 1 with Stangley, but he wasn't throwing it that much to those backs. Yeah, I guess that first game he learned his lesson because he was still trying to try us, and we was taking everything that he was giving us. Rankins, he had 4 tackles. 4 tackles, 3 solos, 1 sack. Couldn't get this man started, man. I was hoping he was going to have a better game that second game, but even with the first game, he started blocking him, and he couldn't get around that edge. So maybe, hopefully, later on this season, we'll get another scenario pop up for him. I really want to get this guy at a superstar for the end of the season, if not X Factor, but you know, it'd be nice to have a nice young rookie. Man's got good attributes, so you know, hopefully we'll get his shine on. Griffin, he had an even day, 4 tackles, nothing amazing. Like I said, he was a bigger factor the second game than he was. I mean, the bigger factor the first game than he was the second game, but yeah, he just really wasn't. He was kind of non-existent that second game. But at least he got in there. Another guy we're gonna have to maybe think about. We'll keep him under contract, but we're probably gonna think about finding somebody else for that cornerback position. Winovich, somewhat mediocre day. I mean, he assisted on his tackles, but you know, he wasn't showing up, man. He couldn't get around that edge rush. So we'll have to see what he brings to the table the second game. Greenard, he had 2 tackles for loss, so he showed a little spark there. Both of his came as assists. So, at least he did show up a little bit. It was either him or Martin, and we decided to go with Greenard. So maybe he can get a little push there later on mid-season. Like I said, another one of those young guys that we got under contract, so we just got to build him up. Collins, he got off in there. He got 2 tackles, and both of them was tackle loss and sacks. So he's playing his spot. We just got to get him built up a little bit and see if we can get a trade somewhere. If not, I know he probably retired soon. So we ain't gonna put all our ducks in a basket. I mean, all our eggs in a basket on that one with this guy. So we'll just have to move him around, and maybe something will come up, and maybe we can get a good DT off in there and get that spot filled with a young guy. Cashman, he was blowing a lot of coverages. He was non-existent that second game. We only had 2 tackles, so no sacks, no nothing. Perryman, he showed up, got a tackle for loss. Been had to rotate him in because of Cashman. He was, like I said, he was blowing too many. It wasn't even coverage. He was blowing the run, man. So, at the end, we had to just rotate, see what works for us, and then try to fill these weak positions in the off season. So Curse got in, he got 1 tackle. King got in there, he had 1 tackle. Lopez, we was trying to put him. He was supposed to be our go-to guy for that DT spot, but he was non-existent. He only had 1 tackle. But of course, he was going more to the outside, so it was really dependent on those outside edge rushers. But like I said, we were just having problems with it, man. I mean, Dobbins was just taking advantage of everybody. I don't know if it was the size or if it was just not being able to get out there and spot the play call. Thomas, he got in, we got 1 tackle. Ward got in there and got 1 tackle. Tutio, or however you say this man's name, we're just gonna call him Henry. Big Henry got in there. He was non-existent the second game. The first game, he was everywhere where we needed him to be, but like I said, he contained that. Stopped trying to beat us up in the middle, start with the outside run. We didn't adapt. Then that's when the passing started, and it was just terrible. But like I said, hopefully next week it'll be a little bit better for us, man. Like I said, this is week 1. We had a hiccup, but it'll overcome. And we'll have a better showing against the Colts. It's a division game. Should be fun. A lot of young players on both sides. Both young quarterbacks coming head to head. So should be a little exciting game. Like I said, we just got to get our quarterback in the game and get him comfortable sitting back there in the pocket. I think that was more of what happened. We was hitting the reads where we needed to. It was just that he was always rushed. So, but that's the name of the game, defense. So let's check out the player stats for the Ravens. We had Lamar Jackson, great rating, 125.1. He was 186 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. Long 36, 89 completions, 17 out of 18. So he came in that second game and just started massacring us. Did not stop the man. He is the best rating. Speed rating, I know. Oh man, I don't know if the best overall rating, but it might be. I hadn't looked at it. I just knew we had him coming in, and we had the game plan around containing him. That way he didn't hit that outside and be gone. Like, all I know is it's gonna be a hard job containing that fellow all season. I'm glad I only got to play him once. But we got Dobbins. Like I said, he came in, man. He had 14 attempts, 86 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 broken tackles. The longest was 23. Lamar Jackson, he had one, just one attempt for 33 yards, man. That's why I say we was trying to game plan for him. He's a dangerous man on this game, and you better beware. The only thing I could say is just keep those. He get off in that shotgun. You better contain those defensive ends, man, because he is coming. Edwards, Gus Edwards, he had 4 attempts for 19 yards, gaining 4.8. Long was 7, one broken tackle. Mitchell, he got in 5 attempts, 8 yards, 1.6. 7 was the longest. Receiving, we had Dobbins with 7 attempts for 65 yards. Like I said, man, he was doing the killing. He was the killer. It wasn't the wide receiver core. We had them locked on lock. It was that doggone running back, man. We didn't adjust. So he had a big day, man. 2 touchdowns. Averaging 7.9. Long was 29. Beckham, he had 3 for 48. No touchdowns. Rack was 11. Longest was 36. Flowers, he had 2 for 26. Averaging 13. Longest was 15. Bateman, he had 1 for 16 with long for 16. So Andrews, he had 1 for 15. Mitchell had 2 for 13. Rickard, he had 1 for 3. So, like I said, Dobbins came in, man. He redid the game plan the second game and pretty much just gave the ball to Dobbins on that outside. I was not expecting that. Even when I tried to adjust, my linebackers was just too slow to get out there and stay with him. So, he's a dual threat back. You don't seem like it. You seem like just a big beast that you just pound the ball with, but apparently that man is getting outside. So let's check out his defense and see what happened. Smith had 13. 1 INT, 46 yards. Williams, he had 7 tackles, 1 INT, back for 27 yards. Hamilton, Kyle Hamilton, he had 5 tackles. Myers had 5 tackles, 2 for a loss. Murphy, he had 4 tackles, 1 INT, 22 yards back from the INT. He had 1 deflection. Williams had 1 deflection. Simpson, 4 tackles. Got Amos. He had 3. Oya, however you say this man name. He had 2 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Pierce, he had 2 tackles. 2 tackles, both of them came from loss. Ojabo, he had 2 tackles, 1 loss, 1 sack. Pierce had a sack as well. Sorry for overlooking that one. Bowser 1, Jones 1, Kelly 1, Brown. Yeah, that was it right there, man. Smith was everywhere on the field at middle linebacker. Free safety was backing him right up, coming along with the strong safety. So he pretty much just started setting his defensive backs on him instead of his linebackers. His linebackers pretty much were just staying in the middle trying to stop the run, and he was sending his fastest men on the field on the edge on the blitz. I should have picked that up. That's some stuff we just, like I said, just stuff we gotta clean up. It'll be all right. We'll figure it out. Kick return. We need to check out, give a little shout out to Mr. Dale. He took 2 of them out, 118, 1 touchdown for 89. So, real good game, man. Real good game. The scoreboard didn't show it, but you know, all in all, it was fun. Like I said, first game of the season. You're gonna have your troubles. You know, of course, mine was not getting my playoff, and apparently Madden went on ahead and just said no. It's gonna be disconnection of, and you're gonna get a grievance. So I just gotta learn how to get my plays off a little bit faster. That way, they don't happen anymore. And if it does happen where you have a disconnect, I'm just gonna have to learn how to change up my play calling. So, you know, like I said, it'll be better next week. Got our first divisional game. He got his first win, so maybe we can tie it up and get our first win. Got a lot of new users off into this new season of Madden. So, you know, different division of users. I was away last season. Kush took over. A big shout out to Mr. Kush there for taking my Texans and making them look good. So let's see if we can do the same thing and build this team up. So let's look at some of the scores from around the league. Got the Colts, their score was 27-14. Like I said, the Titans hadn't played theirs yet. Had Denver come out 52-26 against the Raiders. Had the Eagles 41-14 against the Pats. Had the Giants 24-3 against the Cowboys. Wow, Tampa Bay came out the gate running 62-28. Bears came out the gate 27-7. Good close game down on the West Coast with the Rams and the Seahawks, 43-42. I'll have to go and check that game out, man. That was a good, close, tight game. And then you had the Bills 40-33. Right now, as we see, Smith is the pass leader with 403. Lawrence on behind him with 372. And Aaron Rodgers is 306. We got the Russian leader is Williams with 249. 19 attempts, 4 touchdowns. Wow, he had a good day. White, 20 attempts, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jacobs had 26 attempts, 245, 1 touchdown. Man, these guys was having an outstanding day on that ground. Wow. Receiving leaders, we had 6 receptions, 161 yards, 1 touchdown for Evans. Ingram, he had 8 receptions, 146, 2 touchdowns. Watson, 5 receptions, 140 yards, 1 touchdown. Sack leader, so far we hold the sacks, 2 with Collins, Aaron Donald 2, and Williams 2. So that was actually supposed to have been Rankins was supposed to have been getting that, man. He had a good first game between Rankins and Anderson. Interception leader, we had Woolen. 2 interceptions. Tomlinson 2 interceptions, and Poyer 2 interceptions. Tackle leader is Devin White, had 13. Ernest Jones has 15, 9 solos, and Darnell Savage 10 tackles, 7 solos. So those are the top performers so far after week 1 with 9 games played. So we'll see how the rest of this plays out, man. So far, so good. So no should be any player of the week just yet, but we'll just have to see. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it a close, man. Please hit that subscribe button, follow us, We're on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitch at Quarter Mob, and well, Quarter Mob 25 on Twitch. Just come back, chill with us, man. Me and the SPA crew really like the support y'all give, and yeah, we'll just see y'all in week 2, man. Gonna try to keep it current. I kind of fell off there at the end of last season, but we'll try to keep these videos coming. That way you can see what's going on in the league. Like I said, just come and hang out with us. Even if you don't look at me, support your favorite NFL team. We try to do a little sim thing, so we, try to keep it close to NFL as possible without all the cheese and yada yada stuff in between. So we got a good group of guys, so come back and hang out with us, man. But until then, this is Quarter Mob. We are out of here. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's Saturday that we're doing this video on. So, just have fun with it. Keep gaming, play football, have fun with it, and just leave all that other stuff at the door. But I'm up out of here, man, and I'll see y'all on the next one.